trying to fix this car with a tire is like crapping your pants and changing your T-shirt. It doesn't work.
Doesn't make any sense.
But that's what we keep doing. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is John, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards, episode 108. What's up, man? I got it right. Are you clapping about that?
I am.
Are you just clapping because we're here? I mean,
your
excitement over here is just bubbling over.
I'm trying to be positive.
Oh, that'll end in about 3.5 minutes.
Exactly. So, start the show off on the right front.
Well, tell me something positive. You pick the positive topic of the day.
Dell Jr. race in the Xfinity race.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the Dell Jr. 300 Friday night was amazing.
It was. It really was.
It was probably the best race of the season for me as a Dell Jr. fan.
You got to watch every lap.
Yeah, I didn't miss a lap. It's been a while since I paused it when I walked out of the bedroom. But
yeah,
I would pause the race and come back and unpause it. I mean, I didn't want to miss a second of Dell Jr. on the track.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was good.
What's your positive?
My shoes are clean.
That's good.
I mean, I got my beard trimmed yesterday. Tyler's back.
Yeah, Tyler.
Our barber's back. So,
yep.
Shout out to Tyler. Glad to have you back, man. It's been a year, and
that is a good positive.
Yeah, there's our positive for the week.
There we go.
Or for the show. Tyler's back.
Yep.
That'll be the name of the show. Tyler's back.
Tyler's back. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's about all the positivity we're gonna have for this whole show. So
yeah.
Jeff Gluck said it best on the teardown. If you're here looking for a positive show, this ain't it.
No.
So we'll catch you next week.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I have nothing positive to say.
Unless you're a Dell Jr. fan.
Yeah, I mean,
you're in luck. So.
Yeah, if you're a Dell Jr. fan, you actually had a fairly good weekend.
Yeah. Because
Friday night was enough to overcome Saturday's bad, horrible, god-awful race. I can't even call it a race. We'll get to it. We got to stick with events. We have to call them NASCAR events, not NASCAR races. And I do very well about typing that out when I'm talking on social media.
Yeah.
I say, hey, it was a good event or it was a bad event. Because it's hard for me to call anything that NASCAR associates their name with a race anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's an entertainment event. It's kind of like wrestling.
Yeah.
Except it's not
as entertaining.
It's not as scripted, I don't think. I mean, it's getting there, but it's not as scripted.
Yeah.
At this point, at least. So
maybe in 5 years we'll say otherwise.
We might actually say otherwise by the end of this show.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so before we jump into the racing stuff, we give a shout out to Sydney. Oh, we got to say very special happy birthday to Sydney as well.
Oh, yeah.
Her birthday was Sunday, so Sydney, happy birthday.
And, a good birthday present was, the race wasn't on your birthday, so you didn't have to go through that on your birthday.
That's a great point.
That is a great present. So.
We went ahead and got the Bristol atrocity out of the way Saturday.
Yeah.
So you could enjoy your birthday.
It all worked out.
There's another positive. See, we have found a positive for Sydney. So now all three of us have a positive.
There we go.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I'm glad you pointed that out because I mean that is a huge positive. Because
could you imagine having that race on your birthday?
That would have ruined the whole day.
Oh yeah,
because you would have stayed up to watch it.
Yeah,
and then you would have been disappointed and depressed. It'd have been horrible. So. Happy birthday, Sydney. We hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. Thankfully, you didn't have to watch the race on your birthday. So
yeah.
It all worked out. And speaking of Sydney, if you didn't know, she's the one who owns Designs by Sydney. You need to make sure you check her out. She does anything graphic design related you can think of, from these custom minimalist stickers like I got right here. She also does T-shirts, custom logos, company letterheads. I mean, if it's personal needs, professional needs, whatever, she's got you covered. So make sure you check out Designs by Sydney. And this month, you can get 27% off your order by using the code CAR924. That's CAR924. And also, don't forget to vote in the What Race Was the Best poll that she puts out each week.
Definitely wasn't Cup.
You know, I really thought it would have been unanimous this week, and it wasn't.
What?
50% of the votes voted the Xfinity race was the best. 33% voted the Cup race, and 17% voted it was the truck race.
I forgot the trucks even raced.
Yeah, I thought the season ended when Fox and NBC split. So
yeah.
When they went to the basement, I quit watching. So, but before we jump into all that, Designs by Sydney. Anything you need graphic design, make sure you check her out. You got anything to add there?
Thanks, Denny.
Thanks, Denny.
I love that. I love that sticker.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably my favorite sticker she's made.
Yeah.
I really like my Bills Mafia sticker. Go Bills. There's a positive. The Bills won last night in dominating fashion.
What was the score?
It was 47-10.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen didn't even play but 3 quarters. I mean, they had their second string in there for the whole fourth quarter. You know, it was definitely a Kyle Larson style upset that that they put on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I was there for it, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I was cheering in the room, screaming. I love watching my Bills play, and I love watching the Bills win. And they've got one of the best all-around teams. But this isn't a football podcast, so I won't bore y'all with that. But if you like the Bills, go Bills. If you don't like the Bills, go Bills. Either way, go Bills.
Yeah.
So, racing. Let's start with the truck race. Okay,
right.
We can move on from the truck race. No, seriously, like I heard on one of the podcasts, Lane Riggs won. So congratulations to Lane. I didn't watch any recaps. I don't even record the truck race. I removed it from the recording on my TV because I don't want NASCAR to think that recording's somebody actually watching. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you keep telling them they're doing good, they're going to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, no. After the Fox NBC split, I can't do it.
They go to the basement and they're hiding in a basement and they're trying to tell you what's going on TV, but they're 2 or 3 camera guys they send to the track. They can't even show you what. I mean, Bristol is a half-mile track.
How can you not capture everything?
Yeah, how do you miss things?
Exactly.
But Fox does. They're good at that.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, you send Bob Pockris to the track every week, right? Can't Bob let him broadcast? He can go up in the booth by us. It would be a better broadcast if Bob was in the booth by himself doing the broadcast live from the track than having the 3 Stooges in a basement somewhere doing the broadcast. I don't even really know who does it.
I have no idea.
I'm assuming it's probably Jamie, Michael, and Phil or somebody like that.
I don't know.
But I have no clue because I literally have not watched a truck race since the split.
Yep.
I said last year, if they were not willing to go to the track and broadcast, I was not willing to waste my time watching.
And that's what we're doing. So.
And it works.
Yeah.
Like, I don't miss it whatsoever.
No, I don't. So, what's next?
Justin Haley, Corey LaJoy.
Oh, yeah.
Swapping rides officially this week.
Man, when you told me that, I was like, oh, okay. Thinking next year. And you're like, no, that's happening on Monday.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, I was trying to think of the last time that there was a mid-season switch, and I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. I know back in the early 2000s, they used to. This was not uncommon, and I don't really understand. I mean, I guess it makes sense to go ahead and get Justin. He signed a multi-year deal with Spire, so it makes sense to go ahead and get Justin used to the team, but like. He doesn't have Rodney there yet.
Right.
So I don't really know how it's going to help him for next season, other than he can get used to the campus. He'll know where the bathrooms are. I mean,
better car.
I don't know. Is Spire really better than Rick Ware?
Probably
not yet, but rumor is Spire will be a top tier Cup team with Chevrolet next year. So if that's the case, then yeah, it's a better team next year. But this year,
I don't know.
I mean, you look, Corey LaJoie, Justin Haley, they both fight for 20th to 30th anyway right now. So to me, it's the same car. It's just swapping around. I mean, it's not a big deal I don't think it's going to make a huge difference doing it this early.
Right.
But it's not going to hurt anything either. So
why not?
Why not go ahead and do it, right?
Yeah.
So Justin Haley has a multi-year deal set up with Spire, Hendricks. And, I mean, they have an affiliation between the two teams.
Yeah.
And, that's just a good way for Rick to go ahead and sign more and more drivers. So
Pretty
4
much.
cars, 5 drivers. That's where the whole Bowman rumor came from.
I know. And
I'm pulling for Bowman to win the championship now.
I know. Imagine that. You've got all 4 of your drivers, championship drivers.
Who are you going to fire?
Right?
I mean,
for Justin Haley. Who are you going to fire for Justin Haley?
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Justin Haley. He just hasn't, to me, he hasn't proven himself.
Right.
And Bowman has. Bowman was the best running Hendrick car in the first round of the playoffs. I mean,
I know, right?
Bowman showed up. He showed up this weekend.
Yeah.
He showed up 3 weekends in a row. Kyle Larson couldn't even do that. Now, Larson is going to win the championship this year, but
I mean,
I'm pulling for Bowman to win it. I want to see Alex Bowman win the championship this year, and next year Rick go, well, crap. Now I got 5 drivers and 4 cars, and Justin, you're out.
Yeah, sorry, Justin, but
Junior has a spot for you in the number 8 car.
Yeah.
Put him in the number 1 car, maybe. I mean, Justin Allgaier is struggling. That's a 7.
Yeah, that's a 7.
But he's struggling, man.
I know he's having a rough time.
He's having a rough season, but yeah, I mean, Brad Keselowski slipped up. I don't know if he slipped up. I don't know if this was it sounded like a lot of people in the industry already knew about this, but they asked Brad what he thought about Justin Haley leaving Rick Ware, because Rick Ware has a strong alliance with RFK. And Brad's like, well, we can't compete with Rick. So, cat's out of the bag now. We know who the 5th driver at HMS is. It's Justin Haley. I see Justin Haley staying at Spire for a couple years. And, one of the drivers at HMS will eventually move on.
Taking out all the drivers at HMS, who do you think right now would be a good young driver to sign for HMS?
Zilich?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I know Trackhouse has him on a development deal, so they help get him in the JRM car next year.
Yeah.
That'll last about a year, if I had to guess.
I mean, surely, Rick and Gibbs are already talking to him. Like, look.
I don't think Chevy's going to let him get away.
Yeah.
So it'll be he will be in a Chevrolet. Whether that's a Trackhouse Chevrolet, which I hope it's not. I hope he's in an HMS car.
Because, dude, I don't know, as Rick, he can go, nah, I'm not thinking about that.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Absolutely.
He has to be, right?
He lit the whole NASCAR scene on fire last week.
You know who another one is I would hire?
Who?
Carson Hocevar.
He's doing good.
I like him.
I do too.
He's 17 feet tall. He's skinny as they come. He's goofy, and I like him. He's good. And he's good. He had Justin Haley walk out at Bristol for driver intros and this mic's way too tall. And then Carson walked out and he's like, this mic stand's way too short. There's a 3.5 foot difference between Justin Haley and Carson Hocevar. So
I know.
It's kind of comical, but no, I like Carson. I think he's a very talented driver. He still makes some rookie mistakes, but I think he's proven his worth this season. So
yeah, I think he is as well. He's got a couple of top 5s.
Yeah, I don't see how you could sleep on him.
Yeah.
Rick. look, Chase Elliott is hanging in there, but he's hanging in there like a loose tooth.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Chase Elliott just doesn't care.
It's the lack of personality. That's what it is. Like, he doesn't. Like, it's just
Chase Elliott finished second, and I feel like the impression I get is that it's just okay. Oh, I'm in second.
Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, wow, that was.
It just doesn't. It's like he's not having fun, is what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like he's bored with NASCAR. Like he wants something different, but I don't know what that different would be.
Right.
So I like I said, Chase Elliott's not going nowhere. He's the most popular driver.
Mm-hmm.
He will always have funding because of that. Because of his daddy. That's why he's most popular driver.
I mean,
Bill Elliott was most popular driver. He passed the torch on to Dale Jr. Dale Jr. passed it on to Chase Elliott.
Surely it's got to wear off at some point. I mean,
no. We're talking about NASCAR. I mean, it's
they like holding on. It's
the definition of doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different outcome. Is NASCAR.
Yeah,
I know that the definition of that's actually insanity. But NASCAR, it's insane because we've done the same crap for 3 years and nothing's changed, nothing's got better. We just keep doing it.
I know.
Rumor is Kyle Larson is going to go test an F1 car.
I mean, I would love to see that.
I would only like to see it if they show up with two cars. I want Max Verstappen to show up with his car and Kyle Larson to show up with his car. And I want to see them swap rides.
That would be cool.
Not racing, just swap.
Right. Just
you're not even competing. Yeah,
right.
Go to COTA. You're not even having lap times. You're not even comparing their lap times. I mean, you can, and we will, but Larson claims he's a better all-around driver than Max, and I agree with him.
Yeah,
and Max laughed it off, but
Max doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, he's making money hand over fist. He could care less what Kyle Larson thinks about him, but
right.
I think as a PR strategy for F1 and for NASCAR as a sport,
you get Larson in a Red Bull suit and Verstappen in a Hendrick suit.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just put them together at COTA. Let Larson run a few laps in the F1 car. Let Verstappen run a few laps in Kyle's car. And, I mean, that's it. It's make a half a day of it. I mean, it doesn't have to be this big, drawn-out thing.
It would be good PR, though.
It'd be great PR for the drivers, the owners, the series. I mean, there's not a bad thing about it. I can't think of any negatives about it. So I say we do it.
Yeah.
If Larson's going to test an F1 car, it needs to be both of them. I mean, I don't remember who it was, but Jimmy Johnson did this years ago where they swapped rides with an F1 driver and the F1 driver got in his car. And it was really cool. So I think we need that again.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All righty. It's time to talk about Bristol.
All right, great talk.
Good talk. That was interesting. No, was Bristol a good race, Paul?
No.
So your guess was
16, 17, what was it?
16%.
16, yeah.
And it came out to 27.
That's a lot of Larson fans.
So it's not just Larson fans. It's also NASCAR employees.
Yeah.
HMS employees.
Right, okay.
And then Larson fans. So 27 is about right.
I don't know. I would say maybe some Denny fans, but I don't think Denny fans are that stupid.
No, I don't think Denny fans even voted.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're going to just pass this week. No, I mean, Kyle Larson dominated that race, and that's okay. I actually have no problem with that.
No.
But nobody else did anything. Like,
nope.
I've been to Bristol more than, other than Atlanta, I've been to Bristol more than any other track. By far, it's my favorite race. Used to be my favorite race. I mean, I planned my wedding around the Bristol night race. We got married. We had time to go on our honeymoon and get back in time for the Bristol night race. And I did that because, I didn't want our anniversary to ever fall on the Bristol night race because I don't think your mom was going to be too keen on going to Bristol every year for our anniversary.
Right.
So we planned the wedding around the Bristol night race.
Yeah.
Used to be people would leave their season tickets and their camping spots for Bristol in their will when they died.
I mean, that's crazy.
Now they can't give the crap away.
Exactly. I mean, that's some serious stuff.
I mean, it looked crowded. It looked packed out Saturday. And I think the spring race was such a phenomenal event.
Yeah.
That they I don't know if it was sold out Saturday night, but it looked like a really good crowd. Looked like a better crowd than what we saw there last year.
Yeah.
But it was the same race we saw last year.
Which was terrible.
Yeah, nothing happened. I mean,
I don't even know who won last year, and we were there.
Didn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember he got out and he said, "I beat your favorite driver."
Oh, yeah. See, that's how bad it was.
I mean,
I forgot that was that race.
It was that race, right?
Was it?
I'm almost positive it was. That was when he got out and said he beat your favorite driver. All of them.
Yeah, that was funny.
So, no, I mean, but it used to be bumping and banging. They would move you out of the groove. Cars were wrecking. I mean, wrecking doesn't make a good race, but beating and banging at a short track makes a good short track.
Yeah.
Because that is what short track racing is. You're on a half-mile track, but you got NASCAR saying, hey, we hate practice. Practice costs the teams money. Saturday night, they ran 500 laps of practice.
That's what it felt like.
Even the broadcast couldn't do it any justice. I mean,
look, I think, I don't know what podcast brought this up, but if this wasn't a cutoff race or a playoff race, what would they have talked about?
Well, they would have talked about Kyle Larson passing Alex Bowman for the lead. That was at lap 30.
Yeah.
Or 40, maybe somewhere around there.
Then you had a couple of guys spin out. And
stage breaks. Don't forget they'd have been able to talk about stage breaks. They had a really cool fireworks show that went all around the track. They could have talked about that.
Larson
there's a Braves game. There's a Braves game coming up at the track.
Oh yeah.
They would have probably talked about it. They didn't even talk about that on TV, which I'm surprised, but they could have talked about it if it wasn't a cutoff race. They could have went out in the stands and interviewed fans.
Yeah.
They could have talked about the oldest person in attendance. They've done that. They've done that recently.
I know. I remember that.
We could have done that again. We could have brought fans up in the booth and let them try their hand at broadcasting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kind of things we could have done other than racing because we didn't do that. But,
I mean, it was such a letdown. So I watched, stage one almost. And after that, I was playing video games with one of my friends, and I just turned it on every hour or checked on it every 45 minutes. And I was like, oh, Larson still in the lead. Oh, yep. He won. Okay.
I mean, it was a domination performance. I mean, I think Kel Yarbrough led 500 laps there one time.
Yeah. That was back in the 70s, wasn't it?
It was way before our time.
Yeah.
Way before our time. So that's the last time somebody dominated at Bristol. I mean, used to go to Bristol, there was at least 10 to 12 cautions for wrecks. They didn't have stage breaks back in the day.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you had Dale Earnhardt rattling his cage. When he hit Terry Labonte and wrecked him, he's like, I didn't mean to wreck him. I just meant to rattle his cage. You didn't get none of that Saturday night.
I ain't no rattling cages.
You used to have Dell and Jeff Gordon bumping each other out of the way. You had Rusty Wallace bumping Jeff and Dell out of the way. I mean, some of the battles back in the day between Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and Rusty Wallace at Bristol were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Darrell Waltrip, what he used to do at Bristol, phenomenal.
Look, I mean, I want to say this. If you are a new NASCAR fan and you watch that, new as in last 3 years, and you watched that Bristol race last night, just go back on YouTube and look up any Bristol race from 2010s back.
I was at the Bristol race when Dale Jr. won the race, and they got the saying, "It's Bristol, baby."
Yeah.
I was at that race when he won it.
Really?
He came out, he's like, "It's Bristol, baby." I was there. And, that meant something back then.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think the Bristol night race is one of the crown jewels of NASCAR.
But it's a staple.
It's definitely one of the most important races in the series. And people want to win it. Drivers want to win the Bristol night race.
like when drivers talk about races they want to win, you got 600, 500. What's the other one? What's the other crown
That's
jewel?
the main two, in my opinion. Coke 600 and the Brickyard. The Brickyard, that's to me that's a debatable one because for me, I don't think the Brickyard. I think the Brickyard
is about the track.
Yeah, that's an Indy thing. You know, it's cool that we're there, but to me, it means nothing.
Right.
To me, the three crown jewels, in my opinion, Daytona 500, Coke 600, and the Southern 500.
Yeah,
Darlington.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I was missing. But then they also mentioned
the Bristol night race.
The Bristol night race. Almost every driver I've heard talk about races they want to win or are glad they have won. Bristol night race is almost always on that list.
I mean, I've seen some of the best racing in my life in the stands at Bristol, and it really sucks. Like, I'm not even mad anymore.
It's just like
I'm just kind of over it all, so I'm not mad about it. But it sucks that something that was so it meant a lot to me. It was the Bristol night race was special to me. I mean, me, my dad, and Andy, we used to go every single year, and I take my buddies with me, just different buddies at different times. You know, depending on who I was hanging out with the most at the time, or whoever could get off work and go. I mean, but in high school, we started going to the Bristol night race, and like I said, I planned my wedding around it. I mean, that's how much that race meant to me as a fan. And now I didn't even make it home in time this weekend from what I was doing to watch the start of it live. I started an hour late and didn't care.
Yeah.
Because I had a feeling it was going to turn out exactly like I did. Everybody wanted to talk about the tire. Wonder what this tire is going to do. Wonder what the tire is going to do. It's going to do the same dang thing it did the year before at Bristol.
Yeah, because you know what? It's the same tire.
Yeah, I don't know why this was like,
guys, don't worry. We're bringing the same tire from the spring, which was also the same tire from last fall. So it's going to be great, guys.
Look, the fact that Goodyear doesn't know what they did to the tire in the spring to make it so good, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You're $1 billion corporation. How do you not know?
Look,
how's that even acceptable?
If you want to hear more about that, go listen to Denny's podcast. He talks about it, and I don't know.
I ain't even got there on his yet.
Yeah, so I mean, he talks about it, and he says a couple of guys from 2311 have been to where they make the racing tires for Goodyear, where they make their racing tires at, and they don't use exact formulas. There's a range, so
well, that's scary.
Yeah, so it varies. So if they say they make the exact same tire, there's a scale that tire lands on.
Well, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, I would.
I'm thinking that's something we might want to get fixed.
Yeah, but apparently, like the street tires Goodyear makes, they are very, very precise on what they do with their street tires. So I don't know why that's the case.
Like, why don't no? We're trying to fix. Like I heard Denny say this. We're trying to fix a car problem with tires.
Yeah,
it's not a tire problem. I mean, yes, the tires could get better, but the car is the root issue. Like we've tried tires, we've tried aero, we've changed diffusers, we've put holes in the windshield.
I mean, we've done just about everything we can do to this car besides add horsepower.
We've made the drivers go on a diet. We've made them eat more food. I mean. And they're like, horsepower is not a thing. We're not doing horsepower because we're trying to get Honda to come into the series. Well, you've been trying to get Honda to come into the series since 2012, and they're yet to come into the series. So
yeah, so I mean, I don't know what you're doing.
You're not going to have a series left
by the time you get Honda in here.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like trying to fix this car with a tire is like crapping your pants and changing your T-shirt. It doesn't work.
Doesn't make any sense.
But that's what we keep doing. Like. Bristol has every short track, not just Bristol.
Richmond,
short tracks have sucked with this car.
Not Watkins. The race we went to.
Bristol?
No, not Bristol.
North Wilkesboro.
Yeah. Start with a W.
Yeah, they have like all these short tracks used to be a staple.
Legendary.
Like we were like, remember back in the day it was like, well, we're going to Kansas this weekend. Like, could you imagine coming off of Bristol?
And being excited for Kansas.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Kansas.
That never would have happened years ago. But here we are. We're like, yes, we have Kansas coming up. Can't wait. Finally, some good racing.
It makes no sense.
I don't get it.
What kind of alternate reality are we living in?
The NASCAR reality. It's like, you say, okay. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, I absolutely hate it.
We go from Bristol night race to, yes, Kansas.
Can we run Kansas at night? I mean,
gosh, can we run 36 races at Kansas?
I'm down. Because even Atlanta's starting to get kind of,
yeah, it's starting to wear in, and it's not as.
We got to do something. Like, well, we don't. NASCAR has to do something. Like, I saw a guy on Twitter. He said, how do we get NASCAR's attention? And my response was, stop watching.
Yeah.
Because all that NASCAR really cared. Look, NASCAR sold their TV ratings to the broadcast company for billions and billions of dollars.
Yep.
If the TV ratings drop, the broadcast companies will say, hey, our TV ratings suck. You need to fix this product.
Yeah.
And NASCAR like, oh, we are so sorry, almighty broadcast one. Let us fix thy product. I mean, that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
And then somebody responded like, y'all ain't going to do jack by not watching.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, you keep watching then.
Stop.
Like, if you keep watching, you can't keep complaining.
I know, because you're
watching.
And
if you want to, start a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Do what we did.
Yeah. Then you can complain all you want.
Yeah.
Like no, I don't know how to fix it. I really don't. I think the only way to fix it is to completely start over with this car. I know the teams don't want that because of the cost it's going to cost them. But
thanks, NASCAR.
If the sport goes away, that's going to cost the teams a lot more.
Right.
And then you got Denny over here. He's like, yeah, we're not going to sign the charter agreement. But I think it's cool that Denny and Michael Jordan, they met with all their sponsors and all their employees and let them know no matter what, next year they plan on having cars on the track.
Yeah.
They just signed Bubba to a multi-year deal. Tyler's locked in. I mean, rumor is they're going to have a third car for Riley Herbst to come into.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about Herbst. I think it was Hannah Newhouse that called him a douchebag on TV. She forgot her mic was on, and she's like, Herbst is a douchebag. So I thought that's all I remember about. That's like when I think of Riley Herbst, that's all I can think about now is Hannah Newhouse calling him out. And I love her for it, so I think it's great. But, like, I think it's cool, too, that 2311 has given that kind of security to their sponsor and their team that they're not going to bow down to NASCAR and sign this charter agreement. That's not going to matter to them. They're still going to be in the sport. I mean, NASCAR is missing a huge opportunity with Michael Jordan. And, I mean, what's new, right?
Right. Missing big opportunities, that's NASCAR's speciality.
That is. I mean, if that's what NASCAR is, just missing things.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Like, we're missing racing. So.
Taking a crap and changing your T-shirt. It just doesn't match. So, that's NASCAR.
I don't know. Let's see. What else happened in that Bristol race?
So we had 3 cautions. Let's talk about them.
Okay.
First one was Nemechek.
He spun out by himself.
Yeah,
okay.
He ran out of talent.
Okay, so that's the first one.
It really surprises me. Nemechek, when he came on the scene in the truck series, driving for his dad, and Nemco Racing or whatever, Joe Nemechek, his team, whatever he called it.
Yeah.
Whenever he came on and raced in that truck, I mean, he dominated. And, I mean, he was solid. Then in Xfinity, he was solid. I mean, he was such a good driver. But in the Cups, I think it's really – I don't blame John Hunter as much as I blame Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy Motor Club.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Jones, he struggles as well. He's not lighting the world on fire.
Right.
How can a team that is made up of 2 7-time champions suck so bad?
I know, right?
Would you not expect, like, Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty have a team? What do you expect when you hear that?
I'd be like, oh, that's got to be like one of the best teams in NASCAR, right? Like, they got to be winning all the races.
They got to be giving HMS and JGR a run for their money. But,
right. But no, not
the
at
only
all.
people they give a run for their money is like Josh Bilicki and, BJ McLeod and, Rick Ware. That's who they race with every week. It's like, oh, here goes Timmy Hill and Eric Jones for a hard-fought battle for 33rd.
It's like, man.
And Eric Jones is a good driver.
Yeah.
Like, a very good driver, actually. I think he's probably one of the more talented drivers on the track.
He just doesn't have the equipment for it.
Like Brad Keselowski says, you can't make slow cars go fast, no matter what, no matter who you put in them.
Yeah,
that was like when we put Joey Logano ran the Xfinity car for that. What's her name? Haley Deegan got fired from.
Yeah,
and he still finished in the back. You can't make fast drivers can't make slow cars go fast. And that's a perfect example of that. So John Hunter Nemechek, he runs out of talent, brings out the first caution for a wreck.
All right.
Second caution that comes out.
Joey Logano.
I don't even know what happened there. It looks like he farted and sneezed at the same time and got loose and hit the inside wall.
All right.
That's what I'm going with. He sneezed in his helmet, sharted in his pants, and hit the inside wall. Yeah. And then he probably pooped his pants again when he hit the wall.
And then changed his shirt.
Then he changed his T-shirt. Changed his helmet. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be okay. So it's okay.
So that was another caution for a single car incident that absolutely did nothing to entertain or excite anybody watching it. And then we had the Corey LaJoie caution.
Yep, runs out of talent in front of Josh Berry.
I don't get it. Like, I love LaJoie, but here's what I think. This is my true opinion of Corey LaJoie this season. I think Corey LaJoie coming into this season knew he was on the hot seat.
Yeah, pressure.
The pressure, not only did the pressure get to him, he's trying too hard. Yeah. He's trying to take a Spire car that should finish 10th to 20th and trying to finish 5th. Yeah. Actually, I think it should finish 20th to 30th or 15th to 25th. I don't know, something like that. He should be a mid-pack driver, but he's trying to finish up top. Yeah. And he's trying to do that to solidify himself in a ride next year.
But he's overdriving.
Yeah. And it's hurting him more than it's helping him.
Yes, it really is, because I can't I can't explain how the image of Corey LaJoie right now is so bad.
It really is. I mean, people are dogging him out on social, and like I said, I will always defend Corey to an extent, because when I met Corey, he was super nice to me, and he didn't know me.
Right.
He didn't have to be nice to me, and he went out of his way to be nice to me. So you're never going to hear me dog him out. It's not going to happen. But I think Corey needs to take a step back.
So what about him going into Rick Ware then?
Because that's a step back.
That's his step back.
That's as far back as you can step without being done.
Right. So, but maybe it'll be good for him.
Well, so he's not. Corey doesn't have a deal for next season, and
do you think he's still going to be trying to overdrive then?
I don't know. Me and Janet were talking about it, and she's kind of worried she's not going to have a driver to pull for next year. And I told her it's not that bad, really, because I haven't had a driver to pull for since Dale Jr. retired, and I've kind of enjoyed watching racing a lot more than I did, because when Junior would wreck, I was like, I'm done.
Yep.
No point to watch.
Yep.
But now it's like, whatever, it all sucks. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. But yeah, I think Corey needs to just take a deep breath, take a step back. I do think he'll be in the Cup Series. I think he'll be at Rick Ware next year. I really do.
He's in a Kyle Busch funk right now.
Yeah, I think he's in a funk. Luck's not rolling his way. He needs to take a step back, take a deep breath, and just go out there and what he needs. This is what, if I could give Corey LaJoie any advice right now, it would be, hey man, go out there at Kansas and have fun. Don't worry about winning. Don't worry about finishing. Don't worry about anything except have fun.
Yeah.
When Corey's having fun, he's a different guy on the track.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look like he's having fun. He's trying too hard.
Yeah.
And that's causing the problem.
Something Denny says on this podcast a lot is finish where your car lets you. Finish where your car is supposed to finish.
Kind of like Denny did Saturday night.
Yeah.
He could have pushed it to try to get a win, but then you're pushing too hard.
Right.
You have to cross the edge of out of control at that point. And that would have been bad for Denny trying to get to the next round. So, yeah, go out there and finish. You're in a Rick Ware car.
You're not finishing 5th.
No, you're going to I think if Corey goes out in a Rick Ware car and can pull off 25th place finishes, mid 20s,
yeah,
he's doing good. And then I think Corey will be in Rick Ware next year, unless this is going to be the deciding factor, in my opinion. Brad Kay's trying to get a third charter for Ryan Preece. And I can't verify or prove any of this, but this is just my theory. If Ryan Preece, if he doesn't get that third charter, Ryan Preece is going to end up at Rick Ware. And then that could put a monkey wrench in Corey's plans.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they've got 2 cars at Rick Ware, but I know Rick likes to keep one open for his son.
Yeah.
So he can come wreck every 3 or 4 races a year, something like that.
Oh,
but
man.
I think Rick Ware would be a lot better with Corey LaJoie and Ryan Preece both, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think Preece probably goes to RFK.
Yeah.
And I think Corey's in Rick Ware next season. I think it's just a contract thing. They're trying to work the details out. Justin Haley was a done deal because that was an HMS sign. So
yeah.
But I mean, that was it. We had 3 cautions for accidents at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Cutoff race.
Single car accidents.
Not even a multi-car.
You don't even have that at Caraway. You can at Florence. I mean, you can go to all these small tracks and you have multi-car accidents. We had no the only time we had it was even close to a multi-car accident was when Corey LaJoie got loose in front of Josh Berry.
Yep.
And that wasn't Josh Berry's fault.
When Eric Jones came across Suarez's nose.
That was awesome.
Suarez was not happy.
Suarez, I mean, he
tried so hard to wreck him.
He was spitting Spanish so fast, I ain't got no clue. I don't even think his spotter's like, see? He didn't know what to say because he was mad.
He was so mad.
What? Suarez is like 5 laps down.
I don't know what he's mad about.
I know what he's mad about. He's mad because he sucks. That's what he's mad about. Not saying he sucks overall, but he sucks Saturday night.
Yeah.
Look, it's a cutoff race, and Trackhouse brings the slowest car they've brought in weeks.
I know. So I don't know how you do
that's
that.
a problem. That's why I hope Connor Zilich doesn't get stuck at Trackhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Ross Chastain is unfortunately a very talented driver. I hate to even say that out loud. It's almost like saying Joey's talented. But Ross is a very talented driver, but he's being wasted at Trackhouse right now because they're not firing on all their cylinders. I mean, they're on 4 where everybody else is running 8.
Yeah.
Suarez got lucky and won Atlanta. He got lucky in round 1 and made it to round 2 of the playoffs. I don't see Suarez making it to the next round of the playoffs. There's no way.
I mean, you've got podcasts saying, well, he runs good at the Roval sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But Trackhouse hasn't ran good this season.
No. So I don't see him advancing either. I don't see Trackhouse giving them a car good enough to advance. I think if Suarez had it his way, we would run an Atlanta race in every round of the playoffs.
Well, we'd had to for Suarez to be competitive.
Yeah.
Speaking of Suarez, I mean, you had Ty Gibbs on the lead lap trying to pass Daniel Suarez 4 laps down for 150 laps.
Yep.
And he could not get around him. But I know Dale Jr.'s like, I don't want to hear there's no passing. It's always been hard to pass. Okay. I can handle hard to pass. What we have now
impossible.
Is non-existent. I mean, these guys, they're only passing when they're wrecking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why when we have a green-white checker, you see 17 cars get wrecked because
it's the only way to pass.
They have to dive bomb each other every corner.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't have a green-white checker this weekend. I just wanted it to end.
Thank you, Denny. One good thing to come out of this race.
But yeah, I mean, passing, that's another thing. There was no passing Saturday night.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
That's why I was calling it a practice session.
Yeah, no, there was no passing whatsoever. Like, Truex was running up front, got that penalty, and then stayed. I'm pretty sure he got that penalty. They restarted, and then he got into, 26?
Yeah, he finished 24th.
So I'm pretty
sure.
We'll
say 24th. He came back out 24th.
I'm pretty sure he came out 24th, and that's where he stayed the rest of the race. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He did not move at all after that penalty.
And that's a problem. That's what we mean. There's no passing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Truex, so let's talk about that. Truex and Ty Gibbs both get penalties in the race, cost them the. I would honestly say it cost them the chance to move on to the next round.
Oh, absolutely.
Daniel Suarez should not have made it through as bad as he ran.
Oh no, he should not have.
Ty Gibbs doesn't get that penalty; he makes it in.
I think Truex and Ty Gibbs.
Well, actually, Truex didn't get the penalty; he would have made it in. Gibbs would have probably still been out.
Yeah,
Gibbs. I think Gibbs was too far back.
He was,
but Suarez would have been out. Yeah, Suarez would have been out for sure.
Yeah.
So, and because Truex, when he got the penalty, he was running good.
Yeah,
Truex was running.
I feel really
top 10.
I feel bad for Truex. He was so upset.
I don't think Truex cares. To be honest with you, I think Truex is just over it. I think he's fed up with NASCAR. He's fed up with the next gen car. He's fed up with all of it. Like, literally, Truex is going to walk away after Phoenix, and we'll never see him again.
He's gone.
Maybe on Bassmasters. Maybe he starts fishing for a profession. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Like, Truex gets his own fishing show on the Outdoors channel. Like,
yeah,
that's more his speed.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we need to talk about the Truexes. Ryan Truex, he needs to be a full time.
Yeah, I would really like to see Ryan Truex go run for Junior Motorsports.
I think he needs to. I mean, he finished like top 5, I think.
I mean, him and Dell are buddies. Dell and Truex. I mean, Dell Jr. said he was trying to beat Ryan Truex just because he wanted to rub it in Martin Truex's face.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what else we got to talk about for the Cup race? Then we can talk about. I mean, I got in my notes. I have this is an absolute snooze fest. We've already covered that.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything about the Cup race.
Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex, Harrison Burton, Ty Gibbs. They're eliminated first round. Any surprises for you?
No. Well, so for my bracket, I had Brad, Gibbs, and Truex all going to the next round, but going out in that round anyway. So
I have Brad and Gibbs going to the next round.
I really thought Brad was going to do better.
I had Suarez and Briscoe out this round. I think Suarez and Briscoe are both out next round.
I don't know, Briscoe. You think Cindric is going to go forward?
I do because I think Cindric goes out and performs very well at Talladega.
Yeah, I can.
And then you got the Roval, which Briscoe runs good at the Roval, but so does Suarez. The playoff layout this time is so hard for me to make predictions.
I know.
But I think Denny. So Kansas is going to be won by an HMS or a JGR car.
Yeah.
There's a slight chance 2311 could pull off a win, slight. But if it'll be one of those 3 teams for sure. I hate that Brad Keselowski's out. I like the dude. He's an old dude.
Yep.
I got into NASCAR. He got into NASCAR about the same time. So
yeah,
I've watched his whole career develop. Super nice guy as well. But the speed wasn't there this year for RFK like it was last year. They're getting better every year. So I am surprised that – I'm not really surprised Cindric made it to the next round because, I mean, Penske delivers in the last 10 races of the season.
I mean –
they can't do anything for 26.
But, man, when it comes to the last 10, they are
on fire.
Yeah.
Suarez is a complete shocker to me that he made it to the next round. I am blown away. But with Atlanta being there, it didn't really – like I said, with the races we had,
right?
Suarez was able to go to Watkins Glen in Atlanta and build up enough gap to make it to the next 30th. Round. Yeah. So, I mean, he finishes 4 laps down and still makes it. Yeah. So, not a shocker with the track layout, but I'll say to me, there's no big surprises.
No.
All right, let's talk about the Dell Jr. 300 that we ran on CW Friday night.
That was great.
What did you think about the CW's coverage?
I thought it was
just like NBC.
Yeah.
They used the same package as NBC.
They did.
It is the only difference was the channel.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't like the NBC package.
No, so it was about normal.
No offense to Rick Allen, but man, he's a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a fact.
And I used to really enjoy Rick in the truck series, so I don't know what happened. I think we need to replace him with Adam Alexander. I like him. He's got a little more excitement. I think that's it. Rick sounds drunk almost. I'm Rick Allen. Here we go.
There they go.
Where are we? Sounds like Kamala. I mean, it's confusing. I don't know what's going on, Rick. Whew. Lee Diffie does such a good job, too. It's hard to compare the two. But
yeah.
No, speaking of CW, congratulations. I'm glad I've got that channel. So
yeah.
But as far as the coverage, exact same.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about the Dale Jr. 300. And I'm calling it that because for 296 laps of that race, Dale Jr. was on the TV.
Yep.
They showed his in-car camera. So before the race, Dale Jr. did a press or talking to the media. He said this was probably going to be his last Xfinity race.
Yep.
His last NASCAR race.
Good. End of an era.
So for me, knowing that going into the race Friday night, I didn't want to miss a second of it. Yeah. And I didn't. I did not miss 1 minute of that race. I mean, I enjoyed it. I soaked it all in. I loved even the problems. I mean, his helmet, he swapped helmets. He swapped plugs. I mean, everything that could go wrong in 80 laps went wrong on that with his radio. It was funny because I don't know if you noticed this, but Dale Jr. is still on pit road trying to get his helmet on. Cars are going into turn 3, coming to green, and the pace car is going to be dropping off any minute. You see the pace car slow down, visibly slow down, because the cars behind it almost hit him. And then he kind of creeped on. Dale Jr.'s pulling off pit road. I'm like, he's going to make it. And then they're like, add one more lap. You know, it was so obvious NASCAR didn't want Dale Jr. to go a lap down early.
Yeah.
I didn't either. I'm like, add another lap.
Do it.
We do it all the time for other reasons. This is a good reason. This is a good cause. Add that lap.
Yeah.
And they did it. I'm like, thank you, NASCAR.
Oh.
First good decision you've made in 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Oh, that was funny. But no, I mean, it was entertaining to watch Dale Jr. be on the track again.
Without Dale Jr., that race would have sucked, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even the Xfinity race wasn't that good of a race. I think it was all the crap they put on the track with the resins, the PJ1, the peanut butter, the PB&J. I mean, they peed on it. They've done all this crap to the track. They've ruined it again.
Yeah.
They should have left it like it was years and years ago. I mean, early 2000 Bristol was amazing.
And they changed it for some reason.
And then they had to get progressive banking, and that it hasn't been right since they repaved it that time.
Yeah. We need to repave it back.
It's sad. Bristol would be better on dirt than it is right now.
That is sad.
And I don't like Bristol on dirt.
No.
But Dale Jr., so helmet issues, he got that fixed.
Yep.
Then he drops his radio on the floor, and it turns all the way up. He's like, hey, TJ, can you talk quieter?
Can you be a little quieter, please? And TJ's like, dude, what are you talking about?
It's Bristol.
We're at Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, you have to scream. If you've never been to Bristol, it is extremely loud.
Yes, I mean, it is deafening loud. I mean, it's loud.
But how do you talk quieter? So it made me laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, Dale Jr. cutting jokes on the radio. I mean, TJ said he got a little heated at the very beginning when his radio wasn't working, but they got it figured out. He calmed down. And when he got in his rhythm, he started having fun. And when Dale Jr. is having fun, he's fun to listen to on the radio.
Yep.
It's fun to watch on the track. And they showed the in-car camera. I mean, thank you, CW. Thank you, because you gave me something to enjoy this weekend.
Yep.
Without Dale Jr., I wouldn't have enjoyed it. But Justin Allgaier came into the race with a 46-point lead over Cole Custer.
Lost.
He crapped that one away.
Yeah, he did.
Talk about crap in the bed. Like,
that's been Allgaier's season.
You know, it's weird because that's something you expect for a rookie, not a veteran like Allgaier. And all season, he's wrecked more leading this season than any other driver in the history of NASCAR, I believe.
Wow.
I'm making this up as I go, but
okay.
I feel like it.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, and even Friday night, he has a good car. He's running great. He looks fast. He's running up in the top, and he just throws it away. he Justin Allgaired it. So
he Allgaired.
I don't know if his contract ends this season or whatever's got him on high alert pressure like LaJoie, but whatever it is,
calm down,
chill out, dude.
You're good.
You just lost the regular season championship because you crapped the bed. Yeah. I mean, he Denny Hamlin'd it. He choked.
He did Denny Hamlin
it. What else we got? Look, this is another thing I want to say about Dale Jr. This is what I feel like. I've said this before on the show, but NASCAR does not currently, in all 3 series, they do not have a driver who brings the star power Dale Jr. brings. I mean,
oh no,
I guarantee you, I would, without even being there, because I was there last year when he ran Bristol, I'm willing to bet that 75% of the people showed up for that Xfinity race with a number 3 Sundrop shirt on.
Oh yeah,
like they were there to see Dale Jr. race.
I mean, remember Wilkesboro?
Oh,
I mean, dude,
100% of the fans came for Dale Jr. Well, 99.
Well, yeah, there was no one there who came to watch the Cars Tour, modifieds.
Dale Jr. made it a magical moment.
Yes, absolutely.
For us and for everybody around us. I mean,
you were there with what was it, 28-something thousand?
Oh yeah. Something like
28,000 Dale Jr. fans. I mean,
it was like a junior nation
get together.
That's exactly what that's what the Bristol race feels like when Dale Jr. races at Bristol.
Yeah.
It's like a get together of junior nation. It's like, hey guys, let's all gather together and let's just have a good time.
Yeah.
As junior, I mean, he gets out of the car, has a few beers with the other competitors. He's sending beers to the spotter stand. I mean, he draws a crowd. I mean, Chase Elliott doesn't do that.
Oh no.
Kyle Larson doesn't do that. Kyle Busch doesn't do that.
Nope.
Nobody draws a crowd like Dale Jr. Nobody has a personality like Dale Jr. either.
I feel like Dale Jr. is one of the most relatable NASCAR drivers.
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard on the teardown, Jeff Gluck, he's like, I don't want to talk about Dale Jr. because it's the Dale Jr. platform or whatever, but I agree. He would say, I think Jeff said that Dale Jr. is just a normal guy in a popular guy's body.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've met Dale Jr. a couple times. Super nice guy. I met him at the Tabernacle one night in Atlanta. They had a concert in Atlanta at the Tabernacle, and it was like One Hot Night with Dale Jr. or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but my buddy at the time worked for Budweiser. So we got VIP passes, and we were able to go hang out with Dale Jr. during the concert. I don't even remember who played, but we hung out with Dale Jr. and his friends. I mean, this was before he got married. He was a little quieter back then, but, there was probably, when we were downstairs in the Budweiser lounge, there's probably 15 people down there. And the majority of them was his PR people and his buddies that came with him.
Yeah.
So he was kind of a little more open and talkative. And I mean, like I said, it's super nice guy. He sat there and talked to us like we had known him forever. And it was, as a fan, he made me comfortable around him, which I can't say I've ever felt around any other celebrity I've met. I've never felt like they went out of their way to make me feel as comfortable as Dale made me feel.
Yeah.
So you just don't have that.
No, you don't.
So how can NASCAR fix that?
I don't know.
And can they?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, can NASCAR control how relatable they make their drivers?
I think if NASCAR quits penalizing them for having a personality, they can.
That's true.
I mean, anytime they say anything negative, look, NASCAR is like the Wicked Witch. NASCAR is like Big Brother, big government, big pharma, big bank, whatever you want to call it.
Big whatever.
That's NASCAR. The fans are the people. We're the citizens. We don't like big government. We don't like big NASCAR. We want to see a driver get out and Tony Stewart it. Yeah. We want to see a driver get out and Denny Hamlin it. We don't want to see a driver get out and just say, "Oh, NASCAR's great." Right. Or be scared to say anything negative. I want to see a driver get out mad and not be in fear of losing points or getting suspended. I want to see them get mad. Go have an altercation. Right. I'm not saying I want them to fight, but if that happens, it happens.
Be like, like Dale Earnhardt back in the day, gets out, reporter comes up, is like, well, how was your day? It's terrible. Our car sucked. The tires sucked. This race sucked.
Yeah, and Jim France is like that. Goodyear's like his buddy.
I know.
So you're not allowed to say anything negative about Goodyear. Jim France will get all butthurt and he'll, suspend you. Yeah. So, I mean, with the new charter agreement, they're not allowed to talk negative about NASCAR anyway.
That's insane.
This is how you prevent personality, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Noah Gragson, when he was in the truck series, his personality was starting to grow, but he's not in a winning ride.
Yeah.
You need Kyle Larson to have a bigger personality. You really need Chase Elliott to have a massive person. Like Chase Elliott, honestly, should do a podcast with Dale Jr. Even get on Dale Jr.'s platform. I don't know. Chase needs to do something. Somebody needs to do something.
I feel like Bowman's more relatable than Chase.
But look, Denny Hamlin. People hated Denny Hamlin until a few years ago when he started his own podcast on the Dale Jr. podcast platform.
Yeah.
I am a Denny Hamlin fan now because of the podcast.
Yeah.
Actions Detrimental is one of my favorite shows to listen to each week. I really like Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin gets out there and he puts it out there. He puts himself out there. Yeah. You get to know these guys by listening to them on a podcast. Like, I can remember back in the day, the Dale Jr. download was Mike Davis and Taylor Zarza. Dale Jr. wasn't even on it. The one part of that show I look forward to the most each week was when Dale Jr. would get on the plane, he would call into the show and he would leave a message about his day at the track. And it was a couple minutes long, and then they would talk about it. But I loved hearing from Dale Jr. It was like, I felt like it was like my buddy calling me, telling me about his day. So you feel like these guys, in a sense, they become your friends because you listen to them every week, and they don't even realize you're friends with them. But you're invested in that driver then.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So if Chase Elliott would do a podcast, people would buy into him more. I mean,
and I feel like a podcast today is like the equivalent of, go talking at some event or whatever, like PR stuff back, in like early 2000s and stuff.
But there, Denny Hamlin, he made a comment on his podcast, lost points and got in trouble by NASCAR and fined.
Yeah.
So why would Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, why do these guys want to go start a podcast? Because then they're on pins and needles don't want to offend Big Brother.
Right.
Well, Jim France will spank us if we say something negative. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
That's the problem. That is what is holding NASCAR back from growing.
I don't know how you're going to points penalize someone for what they say.
Easily. NASCAR did it.
I know. It's like
NASCAR's done it throughout history, though. I mean, they get mad, and they used to do it non-inadvertently. Like, so a driver would get out and say something negative about NASCAR. Well, NASCAR would find something wrong on his car the next weekend.
Yeah.
They would hit him like that. You got to go to the back, or you're 2 laps down, or they'd hit. That's how NASCAR got them back. Now it's just, you said something negative about NASCAR, $50,000 pin.
Yep.
Nope, go away. We don't like you. I mean,
they're going to ban you for a race.
But see, here's NASCAR's thing. They feel like that they've got a car and anybody can drive this car and put on this event that they host every weekend. NASCAR doesn't think the drivers matter. And if they saw anything Friday night, it's the drivers matter because Dale Jr., I mean, honestly, the best race of the weekend was the Xfinity race, not because of the action on the track, but because Dale Jr. was in it.
Yeah.
And I soaked up every moment of it because I was scared it was my last. And then he gets out of the car. He's like, I'll be back.
Yeah, he's like, I'll probably be back in 2 years.
I mean, he's got a 29-year streak of having at least one start in the Cup Series. I mean, in a NASCAR sanctioned series.
Yeah.
I think he needs to run a race next year.
And just keep it going.
I understand he wants to focus on his new TV deal, but let's not throw away a streak. Let's go for 30 and then 31. I mean, he's going to be 50. It's okay.
I know.
For 50, he beat a lot of 18-year-olds Friday night.
I know, right? I mean, that was crazy. Because, I don't know. I was expecting him to be, top 15. And
were you really? I thought he would win.
Really?
I went in thinking I was expecting Dale Jr. to win Friday night.
I don't know. Because, he doesn't do this as often. And there's a lot of talent in the Xfinity series. A lot of good drivers.
But look what he did last year in the Xfinity race.
He almost won it.
He caught on fire. His pants leg, they had to light his pants leg on fire so he didn't win that race.
I know.
Otherwise, he was going to win that race.
He was. I really do.
I truly believe that.
I really do think he could.
In my mind, he won that race.
Yeah. But no, I mean, what I'm saying is it shocks me every time he comes out and pulls out a top 10 after not doing it for a year.
Do you think his car tours races helps him stay competitive in the Xfinity Series now?
Absolutely.
I think he should run more. This is what I would like. I would like to see Dale Jr. run a full season in the Cars Tour.
That would be awesome.
Like, just run the whole season. Go for the championship.
That'd be awesome.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this Friday night. I told John, I'm like, hey, we have to go to a Cars Tour race in case Dale Jr. just up and says, all right, I'm done with Cars Tour.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll say that anytime soon, but we got to go.
We do.
We've seen him run 2 of them now. We need to see him run another one. So
yeah.
I'm thinking Florence, South Carolina. I'm thinking that's going to be our next Cars Tour race.
It'd be a good one.
That's a drivable one from here.
Yeah.
All right, this weekend we're going to Kansas, 3 o'clock on Sunday. What do you expect?
Like you said earlier, HMS or Gibbs to win.
Do you think we'll have a 3-wide finish like we did earlier this year at Kansas?
It wasn't 3-wide.
It wasn't?
No, it was. I mean, it was almost 3-wide, but it was.
I thought it was a 3-wide finish.
No,
we had Atlanta 3-wide, and then we had Kansas. It was
no Kansas.
Or it was not 3-wide. It was the closest margin of victory. That was it.
0.001, but it was actually like a little bit less than that. But they didn't want to put that in the decimal, so they rounded up.
Yeah. So you expecting the same?
Maybe.
I think it'll be a good race.
I don't think it's going to be like Atlanta where the track's starting to give in.
So what do you think the poll will be? Let's just go ahead and make a poll guess now.
Larson.
No, not that poll.
Oh.
The Gluck poll.
Oh. I thought you were talking about like.
All right, who do you think will win Kansas first?
My 3 drivers that I think could win it.
3?
Okay, look.
Go ahead, give me your 3. I'll give you my top 36 picks after that.
Shut up. Okay. Well, I think either Bell, Larson, or Denny's going to win it. But I think Larson's going to win.
I think Denny wins.
I think Larson.
He's got to win, right? He's getting better.
Yeah.
But I think Denny wins because he doesn't want to. He's going to go to Talladega and ride around the back because that works so well at Atlanta.
No, he said on his.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, on his show.
I haven't listened yet.
Okay, so on his show, he goes, "We've got Kansas coming up. We're gonna." He's like, "I'm gonna go win Kansas. I'm gonna run." He said, "I'm gonna run good at Talladega." And Jared goes, "Say that again." He says, "I'm gonna run good at Talladega." He says, "Can you say it one more time so we have it on record?" I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run to the best of my car's ability at Talladega. Good.
That's great news. No, I don't. So you got Larson winning. I got Denny winning. I think it's going to be one of the two. But I like your Christopher Bell pick. I mean, that's probably going to be our champion this year. I don't know. I go back and forth between Larson and Bell on the championship because I think Bell and then Larson goes and leaves 462 laps at Bristol. It's like,
I know. It's like, well, how can I bet against that?
Yeah, it's hard to bet against that. So, yeah.
You have Larson winning in your bracket, so.
I know. Maybe I go back and forth. I change every week who I think is going to win.
Yeah.
And I'll probably keep doing that up until Phoenix. Yeah. And then whoever gets the pole at Phoenix in the number 1 pit stall, that's your winner.
Yeah.
Your champion.
Pretty much.
That's proof right there. NASCAR hates their fans. We keep going back to Phoenix over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
But the advertisement at baggage claim.
That's true. That's true.
It's so good.
Like Jordan Bianchi says, if it's that baggage claim advertising, I mean,
that's why we go back there.
We don't have NASCAR at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport.
No.
When I went to Seattle and got off the plane, I didn't see any NASCAR, which they don't have a racetrack there. But still, they could be advertising.
Yeah.
They could have been advertising for Phoenix. I mean, that's what I'm saying, though, is like baggage claim doesn't make that big of a difference. But I'll give it to Jordan and go with baggage claim. So what else you got, man? That's all I got this week.
That's all I got.
I think we had nothing to talk about, and we've somehow talked about a lot of something.
We stretched the show out a lot.
Yeah, I really thought this would be our shortest show ever. So.
I did too. I thought we were going to be in the 40s.
We must like each other or something because we're able to talk for an hour plus every week.
I know.
Maybe it's because we're related.
Maybe. Possibly.
All right, that's all I got. So thanks to everybody who listens to the show each week, watches, and shares the show on social media. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you're following us on X. We're at Car Backwards. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all of our videos. Check us out on Spotify. Make sure you follow us and leave us a rating there as well. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review like Brandon and Sydney did. When y'all leave reviews, it helps other people find the show, and we greatly appreciate that. So If you haven't left us a review, go leave us a review right now. Make sure you check us out on YouTube Music and subscribe there as well. If you feel the need, you're more than welcome to email us. We're racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. And make sure, if you haven't already, check out Designs by Sydney. Use code CAR924. Get a 27% discount. Other than that, y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you after Kansas, everybody. Bye.